Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Launch Codes Football. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Chelsea.
and on Tuesday, we talked about the NFC's I guess we call it fuel or frauds for the NFC playoff picture. And now we have to hit the twin brother of football, the AFC, with
Which we're
uh,
both much more invested in, if we're being honest.
let's be honest, we're both much more invested in specifically one team each or like one division each. But
Well, the whole playoff thing matters in the AFC though for both of us as Steelers and Colts fans because depending on how things play out, it might determine whether we even make it.
one team that we know are going to make it, even though we both want them to miss it, but that's not possible because they're the best team record-wise in football right now. The New England Patriots, Chelsea, I have to give you credit before the season. You have the Patriots being you had them make the wild card. I didn't think they'd be that good. They are eating with a weak schedule they're on right now. Was this a 10 game a winning streak, and they just I
I
don't want
didn't think they'd be this good,
I
in
don't want them to be
fairness.
back. I don't want the Patriots to be good again. This is disappointing. They have okay, they're definitely fueled. They're definitely
For sure.
Mike Vrabel has set himself as one of the best coaches like of the past what 10 years.
I
Drake
mean, he made the Titans relevant for a small portion there, which was crazy in its own right.
and then Titans got rid of him for some crazy reason.
Because they're stupid. That's
Yeah.
why. They're just dumb.
Oh man. And so yeah, they got don't forget they got rid of AJ Brown.
That's also why they're dumb.
You're happy about that being in the South. So,
I'm not
but
gonna lie.
yeah, Drake Mason MVP candidate. Mike Vrabel probably is a coach. He has to be at least in the discussion of coach of the year. The defense looks really good. The offense looks. That was the big question, honestly, this year. Is that do they have enough offensive weapons? But with Travion Henderson coming big, starting to come up big, and their receiving core, which I think part is just Mac Hollins, that Stephon Diggs coming off his torn ACL, and everyone thought he was done, but he's still a really good wide receiver. Was it Kendrick Butte? I believe
Yeah.
that. They have a low key, kind of nice,
Hunter
underrated.
Henry,
I, he's another guy I thought was done.
me too.
I thought he was done, and like he's now. They just have a low key, underrated receiving core of just either very young guys or guys that we thought were cooked 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, honestly, we come as fans from the era of great AFC rivalries in the
Yeah.
2000s and 2010s. So, you as a Steelers fan and me as a Colts fan obviously do not want to see the Patriots become relevant after 2 years. Was it 2 years of being irrelevant? 3 years? I think it was 2 years.
They made one playoff in Mac Jones' rookie year, and then after that they had like a 2, 3 year window of just tanking, and now
Right.
we're
So,
back.
I mean, obviously, considering our fandoms, we obviously don't want the Patriots to be relevant. Honestly, the craziest thing about this team, I mean, between you and me, we both know a lot of football players, whether it's you historically more than me, or me with a lot of like college prospects and like recent people who have moved up. There are a lot of people on this team that I do not know. And maybe that just makes me a casual. I don't know. But I feel like they've had so many guys just come out of left field that are really good. I mean, obviously not all of them. Like Christian Gonzalez, everyone knew he was going to be good when
Yeah.
he got drafted. I mean, he's a top five corner in the league for sure. I mean, he's really good. And they obviously have some like mainstays as well that people know, some big draft picks from, Power Five conference schools and things like that. But there are some guys on there. I'm like, who the heck is this? They're like amazing. I'm like, I've never even heard of this guy. And
Uh,
honestly, that's probably a testament to Vrabel's coaching ability more than anything else, honestly. But I mean, Travion Henderson, everyone knew who he was. I mean, he was at Ohio State.
yeah.
I mean, Mac Hollins, he like doesn't like wearing shoes, and then he goes out and wears shoes during the football game and like balls out. I mean, the more you know. I mean, they look very impressive. They're definitely for real. As much as it pains me to say it, people gave up on Drake May after like 1 year. And honestly, I was kind of one of those people. Like I thought he was going to be fine. I didn't
Dang.
think he was going to be like this. Because I mean, look at his first year. He was fine. I mean, he wasn't spectacular. And the standards are so high in New England because they had Tom Brady. So it's like, When they took Mac Jones, they expected him to be the next Tom Brady. He was obviously not. But no, I mean, he, yeah, this team's really good. As much as it pains me to say it, but they might have the same problem that the Colts did because their strength of schedule has not been that strong either. So I'll be interested to see what happens when they play some stronger teams. I know they did beat the Bills this year. That was pretty early in the season, so I'd be interested to see how they play them again. I think this is their bye week. I think they play them the next week again. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But I mean, they're for real. I mean, they're really, really good. As much as it hurts me to admit.
And, and everyone's they're really good now. Buffalo's window might be closing soon. They're trying to battle to stay within the wild card as a wild card team right now. And the end of this season, they have to face Cincinnati, the rising Cincinnati Bengals. They have to go to New England. Then they have Cleveland, and then they face the Eagles, which might be they're hosting the Eagles, and then they end the season with the Jets. So they face two potential playoff, well, two playoff teams in the Eagles and Patriots, one potential playoff team. And even then, I just don't. They just signed. They got Darius Slay from just now, just today from like off of waivers. I don't think that really helps that much. Like I like Josh Allen. I think the only reason why I would,
And James Cook.
and yeah, that's and Adava who's not playing because he's injured. But like at this point with Buffalo, I can we even like I guess just because it's Josh Allen, I'm going to say fuel. And because the fact that Patrick Holmes might not be in the playoffs, which is crazy, but that's the reality of the situation, that they are definitely, he has no excuse at this point not getting to at least the Super Bowl, or at least AFC Championship. But I say fuel, but how much do you really trust this team just to be carried by Josh Allen for like the next month, 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, I'll fuel them up in the regular season. Not as confident in the postseason. Obviously, Josh Allen is so good, he can overcome multiple deficiencies on the offense by himself, which is just a testament to his skill level. But, as we've talked about on past episodes, you're going to get the Josh Allen experience. When you're playing bad to mid teams, it doesn't really matter as much. But when you're in the playoffs and you score 5 touchdowns and you turn the ball over 1 or 2 times, like that's going to be a lot more important in the playoffs than it is in the regular season. Not to say that it diminishes his talent because it doesn't. He's just very
No.
aggressive and he goes for things that other people wouldn't. And a lot of the time it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, personally, I don't really foresee this team getting to a goal. I'll still give them fuel because they have Josh Allen, but they don't have a wide receiver one. One of their tight ends is hurt. Their O line, after getting absolutely destroyed by Houston, I mean, I don't know how you fix that. I mean, it was so bad, Josh Allen couldn't even do anything. That's when you know it was bad, when Josh Allen can't overcome a mediocre to bad offensive line. I mean, that was awful. So, yeah, like I said, I don't see them winning a Super Bowl, but they still have Josh Allen, so they're still obviously scary. You don't want to play Josh Allen in the playoffs because he has so much anger surrounding losing in the playoffs, specifically to Patrick Mahomes, but just in general. So, I mean, that's not someone you want to face in the playoffs. I just don't think that they have the offensive firepower, especially in the wide receiver core, to keep up in the playoffs.
Well, you know how you get right. You face a trash team like the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Um, I'm still salty about that game. Yeah, Pittsburgh, it's the AFC North. Yeah, the AFC North is so bad right now that the Bengals have a legit shot of taking the division, and it's burning me up inside. The Steelers and Ravens basically have to play each other twice, and that's probably going to be what decides the division. Pittsburgh's final games are at Baltimore, hosting Miami, at Detroit, at Cleveland, and hosting the Ravens to end, and then yeah, hosting the Ravens to end the season. So they have two what should be.
Couple easy ones and a couple
You
hard
say that.
ones.
You say that. You say
Mixed
that should be.
bag.
You say that should be easy, but you know what? I can't even say it's
Well,
gonna
I
be.
say easy loosely. Nothing's easy in the NFL just compared to other teams. I mean,
But I know you talk about in terms like, oh, okay, Cleveland, that could be easy game, and Miami, that could be easy. Nope, Miami's actually kind of hot right now. Pittsburgh's definitely like Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure how healthy he is at this point. The only thing that's saving Pittsburgh, honestly, is the fact that the Ravens have an even tougher schedule than the Ravens. The Ravens are not making the playoffs. I'm just gonna say this right now. No matter like they are not making. They don't have a shot. They have
Okay,
to.
what's their schedule?
They have to. They have to play Pittsburgh twice. They're playing Pittsburgh this week, and they play at the end of the last game of the season. And sandwich in between their Pittsburgh, they travel to Cincinnati, host the Patriots, and travel to Green Bay. They just
Yikes.
their cupcake schedule they've had like the past month and a half, that's gone now. You're now facing every team on this list is legit, if not already in the playoffs. It's like it's hovering towards a postseason berth. And I don't know what the heck's going on right now with Lamar. I think he's probably not
I
100%
don't
healthy.
know. He looks awful.
And honestly, I have to say, it's him and Josh Allen. They weren't going to age the best, but at least Josh Allen is a much bigger man than Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen doesn't have the same number of injury history as Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be prisoner of the moment. I'm not going to say this is the end of Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying this is like his Russell Wilson decline, but he did play very well his first game back against the Dolphins, and ever since then he's been just mid, and that's being kind calling him mid.
He had like 4 points in fantasy last week. Lamar Jackson. Isn't that crazy?
Lamar
He's got
Jackson,
to be playing through some kind of injury. I mean, there's no way that he's not hurt to some degree.
yeah, but like.
He's too, even if he, wasn't hurt and was having a mid-season, it would not be this bad. You know what I mean? Like he has to be hurt.
It has to be it again. I
Because
don't.
he did come back from an injury, so maybe it's chronic.
I just don't see him like the thing is, and I'm not sure how much of the Thursday night game you watch. I watch more of the second half than the first half of Thursday night. Last on Thanksgiving, last game, he's not escaping like he used to. He's not moving in terms of speed and like elusiveness around the pocket like he used to. And that doesn't come, and that could be injury. That also just could be just wear and tear on the body. That could just be
Yeah, that's true.
he doesn't have the same quickness that he had like 2, 3 years ago.
That's crazy to think about because he doesn't even feel like he's been in the league that long.
But like those hits age you. Those hits age you like crazy. I remember Mike Vick wasn't in the league that long, but I remember Vick at the end of Philadelphia and then like in Pittsburgh, like after and Vick is was even smaller than Lamar Jackson. So yeah, obviously both these teams are flawed. Once they get into the playoffs, they're probably gonna get they if one of these teams, only one of these teams will make the playoffs, they're both probably will get stomped by who's ever the top seed in the wild card spot, which would be Buffalo or potentially Houston or whoever's coming out of the AFC South. I think
Yeah.
the best team, the best shot of a team that could potentially do something is Cincinnati, but I don't even think Cincinnati can make it to the postseason because they have a fairly easy schedule at the end of the season. They have to travel to Buffalo, then they're hosting the Ravens, and the last few games are Miami, Arizona, and Cleveland. So the next two games are going to basically make or break the season, but they have no room for error, and I just don't trust that defense to try to hold Josh Allen or even like Lamar Jackson. I know we've been talking about Lamar Jackson, but and they just won, but I can't see Lamar Jackson playing that bad again against honestly a fairly weak defense. And if he does, then that's a big red flag for him.
And in case anyone was wondering, we also think the Browns are fraudulent. In case you were wondering. No, I mean, I think Pittsburgh is fraudulent. Aaron Rodgers is old and Aaron Rodgers is injured, and DK Metcalf has disappeared off the face of the planet and does nothing. So I don't foresee them winning in the playoffs. If they somehow manage to win the division, I don't think they go anywhere. So I'm gonna call them fraudulent.
Wiping my
I mean,
tears.
I
Wiping my
know.
tears.
Uh, Baltimore is interesting. If Lamar Jackson and I mean, Derrick Henry's been okay over the past few weeks. If Lamar Jackson can pull himself together and the defense can continue to, incrementally improve, which I feel like it has over the past couple of weeks. I mean, it
Definitely.
definitely has not been as bad. If they can make it to the playoffs, that's a team you don't want to play in the playoffs with Josh Allen and the Bills. Like, do I think that they would get beat by better teams? Yes, but that's not a team you want to play. Like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry get hot in the playoffs, and Kyle Hamilton and that defense remembers who they are. That's a tough team to beat in the playoffs if they get hot at the right time. So I'll be interested to see how their season ends and how Lamar looks, right now I'm gonna say that they're fraudulent, but I say that tentatively. Like I really think that's a team you don't want to play in the playoffs. As for Cincinnati, Cincinnati is very interesting. Joe Burrow being back makes them relevant immediately, even with their mediocre record. Um, as much as I think that they could win a lot of those games because I think that that offense can outscore almost anyone offensively, I just don't think their defense is going to be able to keep up, especially against an angry Josh Allen. So yeah, I'm gonna go fraudulent for them, but very interested to watch their season because if they came all the way back and won the division after losing Joe Burrow for 3 months, that would be crazy.
I think at that point you would just have to fire both Tomlin
I
and
think I
and
think
Hall.
you
And
would
honestly,
cry. I think all Steelers fans would just cry unanimously.
um, cry no, come on the podcast the next day and potentially turn this to a Reddit or podcast, possibly, definitely, yes. I was talking about like in terms of fire Tomlin, you had the fire Tomlin chance. No one's saying I haven't heard much about fire Harbaugh. Harbaugh hasn't really impressed me that much the past few years, and I feel like Harbaugh and Tomlin are the same coach. But that's a whole other, and it's crazy that the best coach in that division might be the team in last place.
Yeah, yeah, seriously.
And speaking of divisions with three really good teams and one trash team, we go now to Chelsea's division, the AFC South, with her Colts, who are right now tied for the division with Jacksonville and one game in front of the surging Houston Texans. Um, yeah, so the Colts are on a two-game losing streak. Jacksonville's on a three-game winning streak. Houston's on a four-game winning streak, and it looks like having the best defense in football right now. The Colts end their season with they have to play Jacksonville twice. They end the last game of their season is at Houston, and they have to go to Seattle and play San Francisco. So, so you got
Yeah.
your playoff started. Wow, I'm looking in. You combine that with the Chiefs game and the Texans game. You guys had yourself. You guys were in the playoffs like during
We've
this
been in
entire
the
month.
playoffs for like 3 weeks. Yeah.
So
Okay. Here's what I'll say. I believe Jacksonville is fraudulent. I know they're 8-4, and I know Trevor Lawrence had that crazy performance in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and I know that that defense is actually pretty good. I
yeah.
don't trust Trevor Lawrence in the playoffs. Brian Thomas has happened to him, what happened to DK Metcalf. He like doesn't exist anymore. He does nothing. I don't think that they have the offensive firepower to keep up in the playoffs if they make it. And as much as I like Trevor Lawrence and as much as I like Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence just makes too many mistakes. His receivers can't catch the ball, and his O line never bails him out. I mean, half of his turnovers aren't even his fault. They're because his receivers can be incompetent. They do scare me as a Colts fan, like I've gotten into in the past, just as a, divisional rival. But in regards to the playoffs, no, they're fraudulent. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is on a good stretch right now, but he's going to play someone and he's going to have one of those games where people go, how was this guy paid the money he was paid? He's terrible, which is really a shame because he's actually a great guy and he's a good football player. Jacksonville is just a tragic organization that can't do anything right.
Well, Jackson, they end
Except
this.
beat the Colts. They can beat the Colts.
Well, they have to
But
play the
outside
Colts
of that,
twice. I said they end the season. They play the Colts still twice. They play them this week and again on the 28th. Then they have to, in between then, they go host the Jets, so that should be an easy win. They go to Denver, which yikes. And then they end the season at Tennessee, which so they have essentially three really tough games left.
arguably, they have 3 hard games left. Okay, in regards to Houston, they really just resurrected themselves, didn't they? Very frustrating. They went what 3-0 with Davis Mills somehow. Come on, guys. Are we being for real right now? They shouldn't even be relevant right now, but that's a testimony to their coaching. D'Amico Ryans, I think, is a great coach, and they have a great staff. So, you can't fault them. CJ Stroud has had a very strange year. Definitely come back down to earth. Nothing like his year last year. That defense is so good that I think that it could arguably get them to the playoffs, whether it's as a wild card or as a division winner, because I believe we definitely have a harder 5 games. I think we have the hardest 5 games left in football.
Easily.
Our five games are
Easily.
definitely more hard than Houston's. Honestly, wouldn't even shock me if Houston came back and won the division. I'm
Plus,
gonna say that they're for real. However, CJ Stroud scares me. When he's
plus,
on, he's great. But when he's off, bro turns the ball over like 4 times. So I don't necessarily know how far they would get in the defense or in the postseason if it's dependent on the offense. But the defense is so good. Honestly, the defense might be the thing that gets them to the playoffs. I
uh,
think that they're for real right now.
them and Denver are just carried by the defense. I'll say Houston, they
And
end this.
Seattle, outside of Jackson Smith. I mean, not totally the same, but their
Yeah,
defense is really good.
but like, yeah, Houston ends the season. They at Kansas City, hosting the Cardinals, hosting the Ravens, Raiders, at the Chargers, then ending season, traveling to Indianapolis.
Yeah,
So
so if Herbert and Mahomes could do me a solid, that would be great. Thanks, guys. Okay, on to the
on to
final
the final,
team. Okay,
which,
so
yeah,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, so the Colts have lost 3 of their last 4 games, I believe. The loss to the Chiefs was not a blowout. It was a
no,
close game. We should have won that game. The loss to the Texans was not a blowout. We should have won that game. So, that I'm going to sound biased, but that is what is preventing me from calling them frauds in this moment. If they lose to Jacksonville this weekend, they're fraudulent for sure. However, if they beat Jacksonville, who we can't ever beat in Jacksonville, and our season is
Mhm.
literally dependent on it this week, if we get it done, cool. If we don't, we're so cooked, dude. No, I mean, if we can't beat Jacksonville compared to the rest of our schedule the rest of the year, no. So I would be calling them fraudulent now if we had gotten blown out by the Chiefs and blown out by the Texans. But we didn't. We really didn't. I mean, the games that we've lost, they haven't been blowouts, they've been close games. If the team can just pull themselves together, get Jonathan Taylor more involved because Daniel Jones can't run because he's on a fractured leg, which
I feel
I
like
don't even
that's like
know.
it.
I don't even know how that happens, but
I don't know how that's kind of should be a bigger story than what people. It's like, wait a second. Are we the
Well,
best?
there's different degrees of fractures, apparently. Like some you can legitimately play through.
I guess, but the guy that's supposed to is leading the most surprising offense in football right now. No, there's not a biggest like surprise story than Daniel Jones this year. Yeah, and also he's on a fractured leg. Like I feel like that's even like it's a slight fracture. That's still a fracture. That's still a broken,
Yeah, it is.
technically a
I mean,
broken
he
leg.
he can't move in the pocket at all. Like
Uh,
he can shift a little, but if it collapses, he's not running out of there,
and that's a big
which
thing
is
because
really unfortunate because that's a big part of his game.
yeah, he's surprisingly
Yeah.
mobile for people who don't watch. He's a very mobile quarterback at times, and if he's not
Yeah.
moving like I say this for you I say this for all 3 teams. You know my rule. If teams are even, I'm going with the team with the best quarterback. I don't know who's the best quarterback in the league out of these 3 teams though right now.
Probably CJ Stroud if he plays up to his potential.
That's a big if. That's the thing. It's always the if. There's always like a small. It's like it's Trevor Lawrence when he's not throwing 3 interceptions in a game. It's
But it
Dan.
is though. When he's on, he's great.
It's Stroud when he's not like missing targets and actually gets protection from his O line. And it's Daniel Jones when he's like not looking like it's old Giants Daniel Jones.
Right. So like not don't misinterpret me. I'm not saying, "Oh, everything is fine. The Colts are fine. We'll be fine." I'm not saying that. Primarily the reason that I am calling us not fraudulent in this moment is because the games that we lost were lost painfully. Like they weren't blowouts. We honestly didn't play our best, and we still almost won. There was
Yeah,
terrible play calling. They forgot JT existed in the second half of the Chiefs game, which how does that even happen? The defense played well against Houston. I mean, the O line wasn't spectacular against the pass rush of Houston, but they didn't sack him 8 times like they sacked Josh Allen. So if we had gotten blown out, I would have been so calling us fraudulent right now. But if we beat Jacksonville, which never happens in Jacksonville, I think we'll probably pay. But if we lose to Jacksonville this weekend, like our season is cooked. Like actually, we would
yeah,
probably have to win out to guarantee a playoff spot. And with that schedule, that's a big ask. So
yeah.
let's come back to this next week after we play Jacksonville. We'll see how I feel about it then.
Okay. I think if I had to pick one, just because in terms of the quarterbacks are all even, so I'm just gonna pick the best defense. I'll pick Houston. But honestly, you're right that this is like you have to come back to this in like a week or two, and because all three of these teams at certain points in the year look like the top team in the South easily, and
Yeah.
and
And I mean,
all
I would argue we should be able to beat the Niners. The Niners, their best player is out on defense. We should be able to beat them. I know McCaffrey is good, but we should be able to beat them. Their whole defense is hurt.
well, speaking of Los Angeles teams, or team, not Los Angeles, California teams, we got the Los Angeles Chargers, the Denver Broncos, and those Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers end this season at the playing the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, and Broncos.
Chargers are fraudulent.
This might be a harder schedule than your Colts, I won't lie.
They're
Uh,
fraudulent.
uh,
Herbert is hurt. He just got surgery.
yes. I
Both of his tackles are gone. Though
he
they
was
are going to get Omari and Hampton back this weekend, apparently.
it don't have my fantasy team, so
Or
I
they're
hope
supposed to. He was
I've
supposed to come back last week, but he didn't. Not that I would know.
but like I'm upset because I had the Chargers obviously winning the West, and they just got killed by injuries this year. And because they're very talented, they're a very good team. I like Harbaugh. I like this Harbaugh, and it's just like injuries clearly just took a sledgehammer to this team, and that's not the situation with Denver and Kansas City. Denver's just like, they're basically Houston with a slightly better quarterback and a better offensive-minded coach. And they end the season, they ended at the Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers. So, they have a tough
Yeah.
schedule. After the Raiders game, they have a fairly tough schedule. But the one team, and obviously they're number two team right now in the AFC. So them and New England are easily they're just well, I'll say this. Denver still is a question at the quarterback position, and that's always going to be the big thing. Their defense is so dominant, they don't need a quarterback to really air the ball out. They don't need the offense to score more than probably like 20 points a game, which they can easily do. But that's still putting a lot that's still putting a lot on that defense. And you know what? I still say that because it's not really going to be there has been a dominant quarterback in the AFC that's going to put up an amazing amount of points. I would say I trust Denver. I think Denver's fuel and the Chargers are kind of frauds. So I'm not sure if that's your take as well for the Broncos.
So Kansas City is not making the playoffs.
Okay, then.
RIP Kansas City. Um, yeah, what a crazy season for them. Anyway, yeah, Chargers aren't doing anything. Wouldn't shock me if they fell out of the playoffs. With Herbert being hurt and both of their tackles being gone and Najee being hurt and Hampton being hurt and everyone being hurt all the time. And Quentin Johnston remembering he doesn't know how to catch and then not being able to catch anything for like 5 weeks in a row. This might be a hot take. I think Denver is fraudulent.
Oh wow, really? Okay, that's
Yes.
cool. We have a disagreement.
Now, let me preface. I think that their defense is for real. Their
Yeah,
defense is really good.
yeah.
However, if you look at the wins that they've had this year, I believe they have the most comeback wins in football this year, which is a testament to the coaching, for one, the play calling, being able to do that, especially against the Giants. That was a crazy game. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge that the only reason they had to come back so many times in these games is because Bo Nix has been horrible in the first 3 quarters of like a third of their games this season? Like he throws all these interceptions, he can't complete anything, and the fourth quarter shows up and he's like, "Woo, I'm back." And then he wins them the game, which is a testament to his talent. I just I don't trust it, dude. I don't. I think that they could probably win in the wild card or the divisional round if they get a good matchup. I don't foresee them winning the Super Bowl. I think Bo Nix is too erratic. I think Cortland Sutton disappears too much. They don't really have a dominant wide receiver one. Cortland Sutton really not that guy anymore. He's still really good, but he's not dominant like some of the other guys. They lost J.K. Dobbins for the season, so they already don't have him. I like R.J. Harvey, but he's not J.K. Dobbins. Evan Ingram is okay. Their O line is pretty good. I just don't trust Bo Nix. Like, I know everyone's infatuated with the Broncos. Oh, they've had all these crazy comeback wins, and oh, they've scored all these points, and oh, it's a testament to coaching, which it is. But the only reason that they have the most or near the most comeback victories in football is because Bo Nix put them in that situation. If that happens in the playoffs, the likelihood of them being able to recover not very high. I don't see it. I would take the Patriots over them like 9 times out of 10.
No, that's. I guess my thing is I'm always just going to trust a dominant defense when the weather gets cold and they get home field advantage. Denver is a crazy going up to the going up a the literal mile high city. That's always going to be a massive home field advantage. You're always going to have Sean Payton, a veteran coach that has playoff success, and that's kind of the reason why. That being said, it's kind of the reason why I am not. I'm saying the Chiefs are not fuel. But they are probably the same way you look at the Ravens. If they
That's
get
true. You don't
if
want to
they
play them if they
if they
make
get in the
it.
playoffs, I don't want to play them because that's still
Yeah,
Patrick
that's
Mahomes.
true.
That's still Andy Reid. Their defense has not looked that good this year.
They're going to
They
have to win out to make the
they
playoffs.
and
They
they
have
can
no room for error, just like the Bengals.
and they honestly they've only have really they are hosting the Texans, which is probably gonna be their biggest game. They're hosting them on Sunday night.
Need
And
you
they're
guys to win that. Thanks.
hosting the Chargers, traveling to Tennessee, hosting Denver, and then traveling to the Raven. I keep calling the Raiders the Ravens. The Raiders. So
The Texans and the Broncos are going to be hard games. The rest of them are winnable.
I say all these games. Again, it's maybe that's just the bias in me. I'm always going to trust like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but again, the left tackle's out for at least 4 weeks. That's going to be big. The defense
I didn't
haven't.
realize he was hurt.
Yeah, their defense isn't looking that they're not looking so hot right now. Dallas is running up and down the field, throwing up and down the field on them. Um, I don't know. And the thing is, Mahomes been playing well this year. Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco has been solid running backs. Their receiving core the offense looks good. The offense isn't like 40 points
It
a
looks
game,
good on paper.
but it's not 40 points a game, but they put up enough points to win these games. Like the Dallas game was just on the for the defense. The defense couldn't hold them at the end of the game.
I mean,
But
I would argue that this team doesn't have a wide receiver one either. Like, I think Rashee Rice is good, but I don't think he's that guy. Like, imagine if this team had like an Amon Ra or an AJ Brown or a Tyreek, like they did back in the day.
no, of course that'll always help. But I guess maybe no. I'm just gonna class up to just bias up. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I do think Denver. I'll go into your back to your point that Denver doesn't really have anything that crazy in terms of winning wise. A lot of its comebacks. They've only had 2 wins this year. That's been more than 1 point. It was the Dallas game, and it was the Bengals game in week 4. So
That's what
again,
I'm saying. I'm saying you really look at the stats, they are sus.
I'm still trusting that defense. So at the end, this is. This is crazy that this not really a dominant team in any. I'm not gonna say this is the first year, but there's no dominant team. Everyone thought it was gonna be the Rams, and the Rams just lost to the Panthers somehow. I don't know how. I still don't know how.
Yeah,
But
Panthers. That was crazy. I was
and
screaming.
this is so fun. This is well, despite the fact that my team is causing me stress, this is such a fun, parody-filled
Same.
season. Yeah, but you have at least hope for the future. I don't. And
I don't
and
have a first round pick for the next 2 years. Do I have hope for the future?
Probably not. But what we do have hope is that our audience will follow us and check us out on all of our platforms. Chelsea Hills, that's a good transition. Chelsea Hills, where they can find us.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Tune back in next week. We'll be dropping our next episode on Tuesday. In the meantime, follow us on our social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Launch Codes Football, on Twitter at Launch Codes FB. And if you're interested in joining our chat BCC chat to chat all things football, hit us up on our socials. We can get you the link. I'm Chelsea,
I'm Daniel.
and we will see you next week.
Hopefully, our teams don't cause us more pain.
Go Colts.
Go Steelers.